Hey guys, Miss Coloriness. Let's get into lesson 2, okay? If you guessed right, it is erosion, okay? Erosion, let's look at our definition. The removal of weathered rock material after rocks have been broken down into smaller pieces and are transported by wind, water, ice, and gravity. 4, okay? So let's take a look at our photos, okay? Number 1. Everyone should remember this one. We've looked at this one many times, okay? So we have, excuse my cat, that was Lily. You will get to know her more. We have in picture number 1, there are 2 pictures. One is from September 6, 2014, and the other is from October of 2016. So we have a 2-year gap here. Now, in that 2 years, our land here is drastically changed, okay? We can see that there is obviously less sand, right? And what do we think caused this? Well, if I'm looking here, I see a lot of movement in the water, especially in the second part of picture number 1, okay? So that means that there's a lot of energy and that water is moving, and usually when we have moving water, okay, we have erosion. So what happened is the water actually moved all of the sand out of the way to make room for a current, okay? We see this a lot in beaches because sand is very light and it's easy to move, okay? So that's water. Let's look at number 2, okay? In picture number 2, we have erosion, and it's very visible, okay? It's happening right now, or when the picture was taken, sorry. We see that it's not water, okay? Obviously it's not water, it's in the desert, and it is still sand, but wind is moving it, and we can see it blowing away, all right? So we have pieces of sand that are being blown away, and probably to another sand dune to make another landform, okay? This is something that happens in the beach as well. It may not be as drastic as what the water has done, but it still happens, and it happens here in Louisiana too. Let's go to picture number 3, okay? Now this one is a little different, all right? It doesn't happen as fast as either picture number 1 or picture number 2. In picture number 3, it is in a very cold area, okay? If you can tell in the middle between those 2 mountains, there is ice, and it doesn't look very clean, okay? That's important because we know something's happening. The reason it looks dirty is because there's dirt in it, okay? And so what's happened as this glacier is what it's called, as the glacier has gone down through the mountain, it's taking dirt with it, okay? And if we look back at our definition, it's the transportation of weathered rock material, and by one of those forces, or not forces, by one of those elements is ice, okay? So as long as ice is moving the weathered rock from one place to another, we can consider that erosion, okay? Now, it can be a slow process. Hello, Lily. Go on. Sorry. It can be a slow process, but it's still moving that rock. And actually, glaciers can also cause weathering. They can break off rocks. We've talked about that as well, where the rocks are chipped off and they're taken with them. So weathering is first, and then erosion happens afterwards. Okay, let's look at the last one, picture number 4, okay? Picture number 4 is similar to 3, as in that it's moving downhill, okay? Gravity's pulling on that glacier, but we don't have water. This one doesn't. Wind didn't affect this, and neither is there ice, okay? This is simply gravity pulling down, okay? After a certain amount of time, or maybe one of the rocks had been weathered just enough where gravity was pulling on it too hard, and we have a landslide. As you can see in the photo of picture number 4, it's covering the road partially. So these are very dangerous, especially in mountainous areas where the gravity is pulling down, and that causes a lot of soil and rocks and broken down small rocks to move very quickly, and that causes a landslide.